What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. Of course, happy 4th of July if you do live in the United States. If not, I still hope you're having a good day. And welcome to another Cars 3 diecast review. Today we have something that everyone has been waiting for, or at least a lot of people, because people have been commenting on my videos like, where's the Desert Race 11 pack review? And I'm sorry that took so long to get out, but here it is. Better late than never. It's not really late because the movie's not even out in a lot of countries. It's not going to be out in the United Kingdom until July 14th, I believe. So yeah, hopefully this is still exciting stuff for you guys. I hope you enjoy the review. Now, I already have reviewed most of the cars in this pack. As you can see back there, I have pretty much all of them loose. The only new cars in this set for me are Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen, No Stall, and Rev-N-Go. Now, if you want to see my reviews of the other cars in this set, you can check out the description below. I'll put links to all of them. I would put them in the card suggestions in the top right-hand corner, but I believe YouTube only allows us to put 5 or it might be 4 videos in the card suggestion system. So kind of a bummer there, but you can just check out the description. And I will also be reviewing Tanco because I think the last time I reviewed him was over 2 years ago, so I'm going to re-review him for you guys. And of course the new cars as well because they look awesome. No Stall is definitely going to be my favorite out of this set. And I will talk about some specific things regarding some of the other cars like Cal Weathers. There's a little variation going on there with him, so we'll talk about that. I will do a showcase of the other cars in this set that I already reviewed, but I won't dive into a full in-depth review. So now let's take a look at the package of this only at Target 11 pack. That's right, you'll only find this set at Target stores. Now maybe if you live in another country, you might be able to find it at a different store if there aren't any Targets in your country. So for example, the United Kingdom, I'm not sure if this set has appeared in a United Kingdom stores yet, but I know the 4-pack, the Fireball Beach 4-pack, which is exclusive to Target stores in the US, has been found in the United Kingdom at Tesco or something like that. Same thing with the Target exclusive Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen as a single. So, you know, if you're in a different country, the exclusives may not apply, especially if there's not the Target or Walmart, whatever the set is exclusive to, you know, if that store is not in your country. But we do have a first look at Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen. That first look lasted about, let's say, 25 days, probably even less, and then Target released it as a single. So instead of paying $45, which is the cost of the set for that McQueen right there, this exclusive paint job, you can just buy him as a single for the regular $3.99 price. So hopefully you have been able to find this. It has been kind of rare, but some stores I go into got a full case, a full 24 case of them. So, you know, at some stores they're not hard to find at all. So I was able to pick up some of these, and I'll just show you guys the single right there. I'm not going to be really reviewing it because I'm reviewing the same McQueen in the 11 pack, but still a nice package with the gold there. Nice exclusive. However, don't be surprised if this version of McQueen becomes a general release in a couple years at Walmart, Toys R Us, all stores for that matter. Right now, it's first look or exclusive, whatever you want to call it, to Target. But, you know, Mattel bends the rules of exclusiveness quite a bit, especially in 2013 and 14 with those 4-packs. You guys know what I'm talking about, like Clutch Foster, Aloy Hamburger, etc., etc. Now, this one may very well be a Target exclusive forever, but I doubt it. This is the paint job that McQueen has for probably like 40 to 50% of the movie, and so it'll be very popular because of that. I don't think Mattel will want it to be limited in sales due to the fact that it's only at Target. So probably eventually you will be able to find this at other stores. That's just my guess. Now I know down in Central and Latin America, people have been able to find this on a regular card back that looks like this without the gold. So I know I've seen people find that before. It has not been publicized much, so I doubt many people actually know about it. But if you're down in Latin or Central South America, let me know if you have been able to find this McQueen on just a regular package. But anyway, that's enough talk about the Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen, or as abbreviated, RRCLM. Such an easier way to say it. But anyway, let's move on to these two because they're not labeled as first look, exclusive, or whatever, but they haven't been released in any other way. So my guess is that these are not exclusive, but they will be for the time being. So maybe next year, the year after that, maybe in 3 years, they will be released in a single pack or something along those lines, because they will not stay exclusive to the set forever. So that's just my opinion. You know, you guys may disagree with me on that, but I think that these two will be available elsewhere in due time. But if you really want them, then sure, go ahead and pick up this set. Of course, it is called the Desert Race 11 pack because it's kind of like all the cars that appeared at the Desert Race at the beginning of the movie. Although I don't know why they included like 2 McQueens. It doesn't really make sense to me. This McQueen, yeah, it doesn't really appear at the Desert Race, but that's not really a spoiler. I'm just saying this McQueen doesn't really fit the desert motif. And now I do not really care that they put 2 McQueens in the set. I feel like another car, another racer, like let's say Bumper Save, Gasprin, something that they haven't released, or maybe the King, or whoever, like it doesn't matter, just some new car instead of 2 Lightning McQueens. The sides don't have anything interesting, by the way. On the back, you have first look for RRCLM McQueen. You have Chick Hicks with headset. He doesn't actually appear in the movie with the headset. That's not a spoiler. I'm just telling you straight up, don't expect him with the headset. Cars 3, Lightning McQueen. Now, for some reason, they have not decided a name for the Rev-N-Go Racer yet. Kind of strange that they just call him that because, you know, they have all these other racers named. So, let me know in the comment section below what you want to name the Rev-N-Go Racer. It's not Misty Motorcross because only the cars that are Todd Marcus's model, with the exception of Cal Weathers, they are the same in Cars 1. And then any other model like Reb Meeker's model or Brick Yardley's model, they are different characters. So you have Murray Fletchburn, Paunchy Wipeouts. Who else do we have? Darren Leadfoot, Todd Marcus. They are the same racers / drivers as in Cars 1. But anyway, yeah, let me know a name for that guy because I don't know why they just decided not to name him. We have Tex Tanco here down here, Reb Meeker, Cal Weathers, Brick Yardley, and Bobby Swift. And of course, Jackson Storm there as well. Recreate scenes from Cars 3. And the description for this set reads, "The race for the Piston Cup continues in Arizona. Will Lightning McQueen continue his winning streak?" So when I saw this originally before I saw the movie, I thought it was like a huge spoiler, but in fact, it's actually not. So don't worry, not a spoiler at all. The bottom doesn't really show anything except for all the legal jargon and information. There's the barcode down there if for some reason you want to scan it. And now I'll be right back with this awesome set opened up. I cannot wait to get like these 3 in particular out and open. See you guys in a second. Well, that was kind of a struggle. I mean, it's just a very tedious job to undo all those strings and whatnot to get the cars out of the package, but it's not really a big deal. It only took me about 10 minutes. Anyway, now let's dive right into the review of the set. We're going to do a full in-depth review of these 3 intakes, and I do want to talk about Cal Weathers briefly right here. So this version in the multi-pack is actually a variant from the single release. It has the Cal Weathers on the roof edges instead of Hank Weathers, which was the previous release in the singles. You can see right there it has the incorrect name. I guess he was originally going to be called Hank, and when they changed their minds, they didn't tell Mattel for a while or Mattel already produced a bunch of Hanks. But anyway, it is actually Cal Weathers now, and it's a darker, more vibrant blue color. And I actually really do like that. Keep in mind though that only the earlier releases of the single pack had Hank Weathers on the roof edges. They actually recently updated it and corrected it to Cal Weathers. So here you can see an earlier release of the single pack where it says Hank Weathers. We'll zoom in there, definitely says Hank. Here's a newer release of it. And bam, you got Cal Weathers. So not only in the multi-pack you have the corrected words on the roof, but now they're also correcting it in the singles. Same thing happened exactly in the 2-packs. Earlier releases said Hank, and then now all releases say Cal, but you still might find a couple of Hanks laying around in your store. All of the Desert Race 11 packs had the correct Hank, or actually Cal Weathers on the roof edges. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused with all these different names, but you can see there, like I said, definitely more of a darker, vibrant color, and the roof edges different. So I'm glad that they finally corrected it and didn't take like forever, because sometimes they take a while to correct errors like this. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I think actually a good example would be Lightning McQueen, just like the regular Rust-Eze version, like this one right here. It used to say Rust-Eze, or actually it never said Rust-Eze. What am I talking about? Let me pull up an example here, but here's Cars 3 Lightning McQueen. We'll do a comparison of this version and the Rust-Eze Racing Center version in a couple moments here. Very, very nice. I do wish they did not change the model of McQueen though, and we'll talk about that later as well. Here is Rev-N-Go, the Tanco number 36 Racer. And now these are all identical to the single releases, so there's no need to compare. Unfortunately, now I ended up with a bunch of duplicates. I have like all the ones from the K-Day thing that I opened up just to mail in, and now I have all these. So yeah, this is how you accumulate your duplicates, guys. Like I have so many Lightning McQueens from Cars 1 and Francesco Bernoulli's just because of multi-packs, and how you just end up with a whole bunch because that's what Mattel wants you to do. They want you to buy multi-packs and get all these cars that you already have, but you do get like a couple new cars. Anyway, here's Jackson Storm. By the way, that was Bobby Swift, the Octane Game Racer, if you did not already know. I'm actually happy to get this one because my other version's kind of damaged and the decals were a little messed up. Mainly due to the fact that I got early, but also because, if you guys saw my review of Gale Buford, or whatever his name is, I don't know how to pronounce it, someone said like Bawford, so I'm going to go with that. The link for that will be in the description below. It got so many views. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for the support on that. Just absolutely mind-blowing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for that. Now let's get into the reviews of the actual cars that I want to review here. We'll actually start with Tanco. So this is the version from the multi-pack. Here's my version from many, many years ago. It looks like the gold on mine has kind of faded, so it's nice to get a nice fresh one, but he still has the raised eyelids, which is kind of a rare sight to see nowadays because usually Mattel just goes all flat across the windshield there, as you can see on Cal, for example. But it looks like for Tex, they're sticking with the raised eyelids, you know, the depth between the white space there and the gold. I like the long horn here on his grill there. The tips are kind of shaded, so like they become darker. He has a nice little smile there. On his roof, he has the cow pattern, so he's definitely like a Texas guy. I know he's from Texas. Pretty cool. He's got the silver rims right there. Very sleek. Everything is pretty much the same as the original release, just maybe some coloring differences. On the back, his license plate is Dynaco, so he's very dedicated to his sponsor that he owns. There are the taillights there. They're on the sides. And here are the bases. Here's the one from many, many years ago. Cadillac Coupe de Ville. So that's the model that Tex Dynaco is based off of. And yep, they still credit that company today because he's still based on that model. They have to do that in order for them to make Tex Dynaco. So very cool. I also like these silver side view mirrors. Now, he is very similar to Mel Dorado, but he is his own unique model for a couple of reasons, like the hood ornament here, the glasses there, and like some other minor decals, or details I should say. I always get those two mixed up, but Mel Dorado is very similar. He appeared in Cars 2 as a talk show host for his own show at the very beginning of the movie. You can see some similarities there, similarities in color. They both have like that vinyl top right there. Mel's license plate is FSHBWL, which is an abbreviation for fishbowl, which doesn't make any sense at all because Acer was the only car that was supposed to have that license plate, because Pacers, which was Acer's model, were commonly called fishbowls because they looked like a fishbowl. Mel Dorado clearly is not a Pacer. He does not look like a fishbowl, but Mattel just reused that license plate number over and over and over again. Kind of disappointing, but you can see at least on Tex Tanco, his license plate is correct as Tanco. They're very unique as well. So that's pretty much it for the comparison between these two and for the review of Tex. Pretty cool. I'm glad that they included him in this set. He's also available as a single along with every other car in this set besides Todd Marcus and the Rev-N-Go Racer. Now let's move on to Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen. So I'll show a couple pictures of him from the trailers for Cars 3. If you guys forgot or haven't seen the movie yet, to refresh your memory. A very cool paint job, and it is my favorite paint job for McQueen from Cars 3, besides, of course, the fabulous Lightning McQueen. But I don't have the Mattel version of that yet, so right now, he's my favorite Mattel version of McQueen for Cars 3. So, he has this paint job for pretty much the majority of the movie. And now it seems like, or at least Mattel makes it seem like he has the other paint job for most of the movie. But that's not really the case. He kind of has a bunch of paint jobs, and they're like all equally divided up. This one seems to have the biggest part though. And so I don't really want to get into anything else to prevent spoilers and stuff if you haven't seen the movie yet. Now I love the metallic red paint and the metallic gold on top of that. It just makes him look so cool and very just unique. Like we haven't really gotten anything like this before. Sure, we've gotten metallic Lightning McQueens before, but this gold really tops it off. So you can see Rust-Eze right there, still supporting his sponsor, even though this is kind of like the training paint job for him. I love the determined expression, much better than the expression on the regular Cars 3 Lightning McQueen. That's just kind of like a generic smile. This is determined, like he really wants to train hard to get faster and beat Jackson Storm. You can see he has the gold lightning bolts on either side there of his hood. He even has metallic red rims. You can see that they are not the typical red paint from before. Black Lightyear tires. No contingency sponsors since he's kind of like off duty. He doesn't need them. Now his bolts here is gold, which I love. And Rust-Eze, even though it's hard to see, is spelled out right here. It's very hard to see with the way Mattel did it because like the two shades of gold are very similar, so they blend in. It's easier to see in the movie, but there's like another font here that says Rust-Eze, but you do see 95 right there and the black outline around the bolt, which is really cool. I like the gas cap back here as well. You can see Lightning McQueen there on the roof edges in gold, very reflective as well. 95 in gold with the roof flaps. Toward the back here on the spoiler it says Rust-Eze, which I love again. Very, very cool. On the back, we have Rust-Eze again and the metallic gold 95. So very reflective, as you can see right there. Just an awesome A+ release from Mattel. The only problem that I see with this paint job and Mattel, you know, the fact that Mattel made it, and so basically, quality control. A lot of these McQueens have poor quality. Fortunately, mine is pretty good, but I have seen some in the store that like the gold foil paint or decal, whatever it is just so whacked up that it's like, oh, I don't even want to buy that because it's just terrible. So, unfortunately, maybe it's just really hard to do this gold foil decals, but whatever it is, it's not fun to look at when you see one that has poor quality. But anyway, here's the base, and obviously these two McQueens are the same model. We can do a quick little comparison here, but the paint jobs are so entirely different that it's really hard to compare them. Now, it's kind of cool that they're in gold, like the bolts right here, but they also turn blue, I think, when he's using Hamilton in the movie. At least from the trailers, that's what I remember. I only saw the movie twice, so a couple things I'm still foggy on, like some of the minute details. I hope to see it again. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure, but, you know, that may be, you know, I may only see it twice, but it would be kind of nice to see it again. But anyway, I'll definitely get it when it comes out on DVD/Blu-ray. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. I'm sorry if I've been droning on. I'm just a little tired. Like, I've gone to work every single day, woke up at 5 o'clock, and then I literally come home and, like, take a nap. So, sorry for the lack of videos as well. It's just because I am just so tired lately from caddying. It is just a lot of work. It's super hot, and it's the 4th of July weekend, so that means a lot of golf play. But anyway, moving on to actual cars stuff, here's the Rev-N-Go Racer. So like we always do for every Cars 3 Piston Cup racer, we compare them to their Cars 1 counterpart. For the Rev-N-Go Racer here, that is unnamed, like we talked about earlier. The counterpart for him or her is Misty Motorcrass from Cars 1, the only female racer in the Piston Cup in Cars 1. Of course, in Cars 3, we also have Cruz Ramirez and maybe a couple more nowadays. And let's just start here with the looks from the front. So, very, very different. You can see that the Rev-N-Go Racer is a little bit darker, like the blue shade is quite a bit darker. There's a mustache grill on both, even though this is a female racer, it still has that mustache grill. I don't know why, but it's just there. You have 73 right here. There are no stickers for the headlights or anything. On the Cars 3 version, you have the headlights right there and 73 below the right headlight. On the hood, you have that nice orange hood that's kind of darker at the top and it fades to a brighter orange at the bottom. Rev-N-Go, and it's completely different on Misty. First of all, you have this arrow design with the orange arrow and like a blue box. And it also says carburetor decongestant, so it's a lot simpler now, which I'm not a huge fan of because I feel like they kind of just cheaped out on it. They're like, alright, we're going to make this super easy to do. Get rid of the arrow, get rid of the carburetor decongestant, get rid of the dial right here, and just make it super simple. They've done that with actually a lot of the Cars 3 racers. I do kind of like the more modern and just simple aspect, but come on. Couldn't you have at least kept the arrow or something? But anyway, moving on to the side here, you have the black rims with the black Lightyear tires. There are his or her Contingency sponsors, the Piston Cup, Vitally and Revolting, RPM, Nitrate, Octane Gain, and Clutch Aid. Misty had a lot more, as you can see right there. Now, on Misty, there's like nothing on the side here. You just have 73 in that yellow, the dial again, and then, of course, the back decal. But I actually really do like the design here on the Cars 3 version. You kind of have like shaded stripes like this one right here, then you have another one right there, and kind of a little design there on the bottom, along with the red arrow, which of course indicates to the pit crew where to lift the racer up at to do work on the undercarriage. So that's an additional detail from the first one there. No exhaust pipes, unlike Missy, you can see the exhaust pipes are right there. Moving on toward the back here, well, of course, I guess I should talk about the number right here, 73. It's a little bit darker, more kind of like 3D dimensional, and not as flat as the Cars 1 version. But now moving on to this decal, they do still have the arrow here, and it does say carburetor decongestant, but it's super hard to see because the text really blends in with the background there, the dark blue background, which is kind of disappointing, but at least it's still on the diecast. I know they got rid of it on the hood, but it's still back here. You can see on the Cars 1 version, you have Rev-N-Go, carburetor decongestant in white. It was very visible because, of course, it's white on the orange background, and the arrow extended a lot further. But now you have like this dark blue color here, so it's a little bit different. You have the gas cap there. On the roof, a very dark color for the roof there, 73, and the roof flaps. You had the arrow on Misty there, 73, so a pretty big difference again. On the back here, you have Rev-N-Go, just the typical logo. It does say carburetor decongestant, but it's so hard to see. You got the camera right there. I do like how they have like these faint arrows going up. You know, it's kind of like an additional detail, but they are very, very hard to see again. So kind of unfortunate. It would have been nice if they made them more visible. You have 73 right there. And over here for Misty, you have the arrow again. Rev-N-Go 73. No lights, like no stickers for lights on Misty at all, which is kind of surprising. And carburetor decongestant right there in big letters. So quite a bit of changes. Like the differences between these two are like huge, very significant, because on some of the racers like Tanco, from Cars 1 to Cars 3, there aren't that many differences. Same thing with toe cap, but this is definitely an exception. There are a lot of differences. Here below the window you have Rev-N-Go, very big with the orange to yellow background, and here you just have part of the arrow and then the text again. So very different there as well. Here's the base if you're interested. And here is the base for Misty. This version actually has rubber tires. It's a 2009 Kmart exclusive. And now let's just briefly talk about the appearance of the Rev-N-Go Racer in Cars 3. So it's just a background racer that doesn't speak, but we do have a couple good shots of him or her from trailers to talk about. First, way back in the teaser trailer from November, we actually got a shot of the Rev-N-Go Racer from the left side, kind of from behind, just like this. This decal was very prominent, so I'll show a picture of that. And then we also have this front-facing shot that may or may not be the Rev-N-Go Racer, but it's likely that it is. So I'll show that as well. Alright, so that pretty much does it for the appearance. Obviously, when Cars 3 comes out on DVD and Blu-ray and whatnot, we'll be able to slow the movie down, pause it, and then see exactly where the Rev-N-Go Racer appears, because he or she probably appears in a couple more scenes. So that's all for her. I do want to briefly go back to Lightning McQueen and talk about his body model, because I forgot to do so. So the Rust-Eze Racing Center McQueen is the new body model that Mattel created. Same thing with this McQueen right here. Now I don't know why. It doesn't really look like in the movie he's thinner, because obviously this is the Cars 1 version, and so the new version is thinner and a tad bit longer as well. It's kind of disappointing, because I would have thought that McQueen would be the same model, but whatever. And another thing that makes it even weirder is that the Chester Whipple Filter McQueen, you know, the Muddy McQueen, is the same model as the Cars 1 McQueen, not the thinner version, which he should be if, you know, he appeared in Cars 3, which he did. So very, very strange. I guess maybe he got fatter or something for the Demolition Derby. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But I wanted to talk about that because I said I would. Alright, let's move on to my favorite car from this set. No Stall, aka Todd Marcus. So an absolutely beautiful car. Now obviously Todd Marcus was the No Stall racer in Cars 1, and he's still racing for the company for part of Cars 3. The next generation No Stall racer came in and replaced him about halfway through the movie, unfortunately. It's very sad to see Todd go, but at least he made it from Cars 1 to Cars 3. Not many racers did that. And I think it's realistic for him to make it, because his model is more modern for Cars 1, whereas Murray Clutchburn, who also survived the gap there, his model is a lot older than Todd's. So I'm not entirely sure that makes sense for him to still be racing in Cars 3, but for Todd, I think it makes some sense. So now it's time to talk about his appearance. Again, just like Rev-N-Go, a racer that appears in the background and does not speak, even though he had a very prominent role in the video game, the app called, I think it was Cars 3 Fast. Actually, it was just Cars Fast as Lightning. Like, he talked, like he was a very main character in that app. But anyway, he doesn't talk in Cars 3. There were a couple appearances of him in trailers, so I'll show them on the screen. First off was in that teaser trailer from November when Jackson Storm made his debut appearance. He came up from the back and you saw No Stall off to the front right. So he was there, and a couple other times, like I think an aerial view. I'll just show the appearances on the screen because I don't remember them exactly. Now it's time for a side-by-side comparison of the Cars 1 Todd and the Cars 3 version. So as for the expressions, they are kind of similar actually, especially if you look at the eyes, but I definitely prefer the Cars 3 expression. It seems like it has more like life to it. You can see he's kind of smiling there for Cars 3, much more determined for Cars 1. It looks like he grew out his mustache because the mustache grill is longer than from Cars 1. He has his headlights right there, 1, 2, 3 on the headlight there. But for Cars 3, it is actually below the right headlight. 1, 2, 3. I like the little green triangle stripes here on the bottom edges. Very, very nice. It breaks up the red. On the hood here, we have no stall. And if you look very closely, you can actually see a faint checkerboard design there. It's very hard to see, but you can actually see it right there with the light shining on it. So I do like that. The font stayed pretty much the same for no stall, but it looks to be a little bit more three-dimensional now, which is what they're doing with all of the logos and numbers. There's actually nothing on the hood of the Cars 1 version that didn't make it on the Cars 3 version, unlike Rev-N-Go, who lost a lot, the aero and the carburetor decongestant phrase. So at least it stayed consistent for Todd. Now on the fenders here, you have Lightyear because he uses Lightyear tires, and they are black Lightyear tires with some amazing blue rims with white trim. I love the rims on this guy. They just look so amazing and detailed with the multicolor there. For Cars 1, they were just plain black. Now, kind of strange about the Rev-N-Go Racer, it doesn't actually say Lightyear on the fenders there, even though he does use a Lightyear tire. So I just wanted to point that out. Here are his contingency sponsors: Piston Cup, Violin, Revolting, RPM, Nitrate, Octane Gain, and Clutch Aid. Here are the contingency sponsors on Cars 1 version here, the Cars 1 Todd. Now as for the side designs here, you have the turquoise, kind of like turquoise green with the blue and mixed with some dark red throughout. So it's like all splattered on there, and it's all like kind of like weaved together, like you have the green going underneath the blue there. Just very cool and detailed. I love it. I love it so much. Of course, you have 1, 2, 3 in just plain and simple bold white text. On the Cars 1 version, you have black stripes going throughout here, and then the white checkerboard stripes. 1, 2, 3 was pretty nice. It had the black kind of background shadow there, but definitely doesn't look as good and clear as the Cars 3 version. Let's just do a side-by-side comparison of those designs. Man, I just love the Cars 3 version so much more because it has so much more color and vibrancy to it. I also just really like the dark red down here. Of course, you have the red arrow, and by now you guys know what that's used for. On the back here, we have the no stall text on an angle, which is different from the Cars 1 version where it was smaller and straight. We have the gas cap right there. On the roof, I love how green and turquoise it is. It's even darker back here, so it's a gradient color. Very, very cool. 1, 2, 3 with the roof flaps. Here's the Cars 1 version, just red there. On the back here, for the Cars 3 version, it is blue and red there with the stripe. 1, 2, 3. And there's the black camera to get some really cool shots of racing from behind for TV broadcasting and whatnot. And now here is the Cars 1 version, just plain and simple. You have the checkerboard stripe coming down, no stall, and then 1, 2, 3 on the taillight there. So a big difference in the back bumpers here from Cars 1 to Cars 3, which makes sense because, companies evolve their designs and, fit the times now, because what's popular in 2006 is not necessarily what's going to be popular in 2017, so they have to aid to fit that. I feel like nowadays everything is very colorful and vibrant, so it makes sense that the designs are more colorful and vibrant. So here we have the no stall text, and now on the Cars 1 version, it was kind of like the box logo there with the red background, so a pretty big difference there as well. Let me know in the comment section below if you prefer the Cars 3 Todd or the Cars one Todd. Same thing with the Rev-N-Go Racer as well. I'm still kind of debating about him or her again, I don't know, but I like Misty because like I feel like the designs are really cool. The only thing I don't like about Misty is the fact that she's just like all one color blue, and now the Cars 3 version has a lot more contrast with the different colors in there and a lot more orange. So I think maybe they're a tie, but there's definitely no question about No Stall over here. And let me know what your favorite car is from the set, because I know a lot of people will just completely bypass these two Piston Cup racers and go right for the Rust-Eze Racing Center Lightning McQueen. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was pretty long, but you know, it has to be long to show all of the cars and whatnot. And while I'm doing my goodbyes here, we're going to pull up the teams for both of these racers. Here's my custom Rev-N-Go hauler. If you'd like to see my review of that, the link will be down in the description below. For No Stall, he has a slightly bigger team. He has a hauler that was actually released by Mattel, so congrats to him. Here's his racer. We'll pull him up there. Let's see if we can fit, I don't know if we'll be able to fit all these guys on here, but we have Shirley Spinout right there. I think that's her name. It's been so long. And Roman Dunes, the crew chief. We'll just set him up there. And we'll bring in Lightning McQueen as well. So, thank you guys so much again for watching. Again, I apologize for the lack of videos recently, but I think I've been trying to make more quality videos, like better videos that are longer rather than quantity videos that are shorter and maybe not as good. Like, I'm trying my best to, you know, pump out the best that I can. So hopefully we can get into a daily video grind. But with work, I work like, what is it, like 4 or 5 days a week, and so I know it's nothing compared to like people who actually work like every day 9 to 5, but still it's a lot for me because I also have to balance my YouTube channel and just I kind of want to enjoy my summer. So I'll see you guys next time for another video. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer, by the way, because for a lot of people it should be summer by now. I know in the United Kingdom people should be finishing up. In Australia, I'm sorry for you guys, but it's like your winter down there, so you guys get summer in like several months, and then that's when you'll have your summer breaks. But anyways, bye now.